You're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
We just got back last night and we have a little bit of a mess to deal with. We'll show you. But first we need to get home. I know, we're driving some more.
Well, it looks messy, but it's really not bad. We have a rather overwhelming collection of, well, we have some volunteers. This is yarrow, which is a plague in our garden. So that'll be coming out. We have a few weeds sticking out, but most of this is actually not weeds. Most of this is actually flowers. They got big enough and fierce enough, fast enough that they actually sort of shaded out most of the other stuff. So we have lots of marigolds. Some of these are self-seeded from last year. This is cosmos. It's interesting to see the differences in how tall they do or don't get. Let's see, we have, who's living in here? This is mostly marigolds. Then we get Bachelor Buttons. We've got our perennial snapdragon back there. More cosmos. And this is the zinnia patch here that I planted. Couple of new kinds this year, so I need to make note of what's what because I've never grown these big guys before. A lot of these need to be deadheaded, and they should make more flowers when I take their tops off and get rid of the old flowers. There's more cosmos back there and a bunch more Bachelor Buttons that laid down. There should be some, there is. I was going to say there should be some nasturtiums in here, and I can see one down there. It's kind of buried. You can see one flower down there. I mean, one leaf down there. So I'll have to peek in here when I trim them. When I deadhead these, we'll see what is underneath. We have some hollyhocks, which it's interesting that these tops don't normally break. So I'm wondering if that was done by something. I didn't plant anything else pretty much there, so yeah. So this will be mostly deadheading. A few weeds, but not too many. And this will be refurbished probably in a half hour, maybe 45 minutes. But we still have lots of zinnias coming on. So I'm hoping that when I take these other ones out of here that have expired, yeah, I can see that there's some secondary shoots here. I should get a whole new crop of flowers off of that. So that's cool because some of these, like I said, I've never grown before. So it's kind of fun to see the different types. So yeah, this bed's not too bad at all. This came out pretty well too. These guys in the front are most likely, I could probably, they're hard to deadhead. So I probably won't. Check out the butterfly though. He's doing a little performance for us. We do have some really nice tiger swallowtails around here right now, which is awesome. They seem to really love the zinnias and stuff. Some of these zinnias I've grown before. These little guys, Jazzy, I've grown before, and I love them, which is why I decided to grow them again. These big ones I haven't grown before. This is what the cosmos should be doing. The other ones are not blooming yet, but they should be covered with those. So. And it should be multiple colors, so we'll see what happens. There's still plenty of summer left, so hopefully we'll get some more out of there. These in their prime would have been just covered with these little blooms, like a little wall of them here. Unfortunately, they're mostly kind of gone. I could possibly trim them off. It's hard to trim these because they're getting ready for a second bloom here. So I say in another week or so we should have a second bloom. It's a lot of buds right now. They're teeny. So this will bloom again in another week or so. Not bad. Not bad at all. Down here, this actually survived. I was surprised because we have some pretty messy stuff up at the front door where the gophers have come up. This is a weed, but these are just Bachelor Buttons that are best if used by date. They've gone to seed. These are beautiful and they're doing great, but these are Dianthus. That's what these crazy, lovely bundles of flowers are. So that's cool. They managed to survive for whatever reason. The gophers didn't bug them too much this year. And my rhubarb survived, which is great. And that seems to be spreading again, so hopefully we'll be able to do more with that next year. This section down here is the ground cherries that didn't. And somebody's been having a great time chewing these plants here. This plant has been cut back in the extreme, and all the fruits have been taken off of it. We have a pepper here. This branch has fallen down because it's so heavy. What the heck is that? That is an antohi. Okay. Those are Eastern European frying pepper, and this plant is covered with aphids. Anyway, so we have an aphid farm here, which is why we have ants all over the place. They're farming the aphids. So I'll be spraying this with Safer's insecticidal soap. And the weeds in here are not bad. There are only a few of them. But I have to set rat traps starting tonight. Because you can see the aphid farm on here. And that's not acceptable. So I'll spray that whole thing. Kill a little farm. But I suspect rat damage. They're not eating the basil. They don't apparently like basil. Which is fine with me, because I really like basil. They just plain died. The rest of them have been stripped to the bone by tomato hornworms. So I will be pulling out the weeds and seeing what I can salvage out of here. That's one of the problems with leaving the covers on. You can't see when there's damage. So I will have to see what I can do on this. I'm going to hit all these guys with some fertilizer. This one's still got some flowers. I have to get this darn grass out of here. We have parsnips. They've done well. I need to actually take this cover off. But yeah, the parsnips have done well. The onions on this end were from onion sets from earlier this spring. Some of them are ready to harvest, some of them are not. I can let some of them go for a while longer. And the onions I planted down at the other end from seeds are much smaller, but they're doing fine. The rhubarb's still alive. The stuff down here, excuse me, your fuzziness, cat. Lisa just came home today, so she's been a bit annoying. You've been annoying, huh? But these guys are doing okay now. They're but I definitely need to get in here. I think the rats have been eating everything. Squirrels have definitely been eating here everything. I saw another squirrel today, so we'll have to take care of her. The espalette peppers are trying hard to come back, despite having been chewed down to the ground. So yeah, I'll have to sort through this. And I'll do it a bit at a time. Probably do a before and after on some of this stuff, because it'll be kind of interesting to see what I can figure out as I actually go through and start looking at things. See what all the pest problems are. Yeah, these are covered with aphids. I have never, ever had aphids on peppers before. We do have some peppers on here. Those are hot peppers. All the bottom leaves have been eaten off, but they're not eating the fruit. So I guess hot peppers are not on the dinner list for them. But yeah, this is all the stickiness. There's a ladybug having dinner, which is awesome. But one ladybug's not going to be able to handle all this. We hope you enjoyed this video today and that it provides some useful information. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. your clothes.
I'm closing.